Evening, everyone. Dr. Freedom here with a Times from Dr. News. News from in and around the universe that may or may not affect you on some deep emotional level that could scar you or make you feel good. But okay, lots of weirdness going on in and around the universe. I'm still checking, but according to Adam Warford, there's possibly going to be some location filming again tomorrow or whenever. Keep in mind, this video is being put up on August 4th. And you're, depending on what time zone it is, it probably already is tomorrow where you're at. But keep your eyes out. You never know. Lots of great filming picks coming in for this series. But okay, let's go ahead and let's get into the big, nitty gritty, what you're here for, what everybody's just wondering. And this one's been flying around the internet the last 2 days like crazy. I'm not kidding. This thing's like a 8-winged pterodactyl on meth. Here we go. Let's take a look at this. Oh, here we go. Season 10 won't be Capaldi's last, says Stephen Moffat. Please keep in mind, this is the opinion of Stephen Moffat. I have nothing against Peter Capaldi. Matter of fact, I think he is fabulous. But no, the problem is we have no idea how long he's going to hang around. Remember, he is getting up there in age, and people were saying he was having a lot of trouble keeping up during the last filming. The thing is this. He did have a knee injury last year, but come on, Matt Smith had that same knee injury. It's just one of the side effects of being in Doctor Who. So, like I said, I really hope Peter Capaldi's around for a long, long time. All right. I have no reason to suppose that I'm writing out a doctor, he said in the last issue. Peter's loving the role, and long may he do so. So, there's a lot of speculation going around saying, look, this means that, season 10 will not be Peter Capaldi's last. We do not know that for a fact. All right. So don't go flying off the handle to this. And I just threw this up here, because I don't know why. Hang on a second. Sorry, that's leftovers from yesterday or day before yesterday. All right. See, Moffat hints on how he'll end his Doctor Who era. It says right here, quote, that Moffat discussed how he'll approach his last ever episode and whether there would be a victory lap, like with Russell T Davies' final episode of Showrunner, End of Time Part 2, which revisited a number of popular characters from his era before David Tennant's character, Doctor, regenerated. Now, let's stop right here. Now, mainly this is a rehash. But also, the thing is this. How many companions have there been in the Capaldi era so far? And whose fault is that? But okay. So it's not like who's all he going to revisit? Really? Nardal? But all right, moving on. Doctor Who to cast disabled actor in a major new role. Now, this one's been drifting around for a couple days now. Nabil Shaban had a few choice words to say about this particular one. But it says here, quote, unquote. Okay. Andy, now, speaking to the Doctor Daily Star newspaper, Andy Pryor, who's the show's casting director, said, the area where I haven't been pushing nearly hard enough is disability. That's something I want to address in the 2017 series. The thing is what do you call it? And they go into whole non-white actresses, blah, blah, blah. What does it have to do with a disabled actor? I do not know. But, yeah, Nabil Shaban was like kind of upset because apparently I think he's approached them about, doing something, and they've not been very responsive about it. All right, who's that lady? Oh, looky there. Blasphemy in the House of Who. All right, Michelle Gomez at London Film and Comic-Con. Still blows my mind that I've got a fan. And, of course, Michelle being, I love that she's selling her backwash. Okay. All right, she's been asked to sell some items for charity, so she said, quote, I'm selling my backwash, then added a marshmallow biscuit because it looks like a Dalek. Now, after 2 long days at the convention, she said, quote, I'm slightly losing my mind now, but I'm just going with it. Overall, it's been amazing. It's been intense, but wonderful because you get to talk to everyone. It still blows my mind that I've got a fan, let alone 10, she marveled. So, still getting knocked over with a feather, apparently. All right. And, of course, how many people here picked out where that goatee came from. Oh, we're moving on. Peter Capaldi used to run the Scottish Doctor Who fan club, reveals Sean Pertwee. And like I said, this was from like a week or so ago. I threw it in as kind of a thing because he said, he used to run my father's fan club, the Scottish Doctor Who fan club, when he was about 12. And in fact, I found a photograph, which I'll be Instagramming, which my sister sent me. So I just got a kick out of that. Moving on. Sylvester McCoy talks Big Finish fans and current Doctor Who. And of course, he was at London Film or Comic Con as well. And it's kind of weird because he's probably the shortest Doctor, if I remember right, according to the lists I've seen. So, Sylvester, always fun, always funny. Be sure to check this one out. Moving on. Of course, other past Doctor Who stars look at their Who time. And, of course, there's Colin Baker and Donald Sumter throwing in their 2 bits. And Roberta Tovey, of course, she was the young Susan from the movies. So if you remember the Peter Cushing movies, Doctor and the Daleks and Daleks Invasion Earth 2150 AD, there she is. And, of course, you may also recognize this guy as Rassilon. And, of course, there's Colin Baker. So nice to read their different views on how things are going, what their take is and whatnot. Doctor Magazine Special Edition on location. The latest Doctor Magazine Special Edition takes a look at how the world's longest running science fiction series has traveled to locations far and wide. And I'm really loving the fact they went with Paris here for the cover because that was a big deal back then and a half. And City of Death to me is one of the really landmark Tom Baker episodes of, really one of the ones that stick out in my mind every time I sit down and think, okay, Tom Baker episode. City of Death. All right. So if you're into this, boom, 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 here it is. And lastly for today, Legacy Bigger on the Inside, Tiny Robot Games and Seed Studio have launched the latest level pack for the big online game, Doctor Who Legacy. And Bigger on the Inside Chapter 1 is a continuation of the pixelated saga that began last year with the free Bigger on the Inside prologue, which sees all the Doctors facing a dire threat as an unknown virus invades the TARDIS. Bigger on the Inside Chapter 1 is written by George Mann, who wrote Engines of War, and I highly recommend Engines of War. If you have not gotten it, at least get an audiobook and listen to it because it's very, very well written. It kind of sort of leads into the 8th Doctor, the 8th anniversary special we had a couple years ago. Error of the Zygons, as a friend of mine calls it, or as I still call it. So check this out if you're into that. I'm only like, I think there's like one online game I do play, and it's just have something to do on the crapper. All right, I'm just not a big fan of these type of games. Well, guys, I'm done. I'm out of here. So until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side. All right, see you on the flip side. Dr. Freedom out. All right, folky.